All right, so we're going to make a video talking about what everyone wants to know, and that's if we're going to get snow early next week. And I really do believe that there is the chance of snow in the interior Northeast. If you want snow along the I-95, it's really not the setup for you, but it's definitely an okay setup if you want an interior snowfall. And I don't think it's not going to be a blockbuster. But we're talking maybe like a general swath of like 3 to 6 inches with higher elevations and more towards like the Northeast. There could be a general swath of like 6 to 12 inches. But I want to show you right now. So there's three key pieces of energy that are coming together for this system. So the first one I want to show you here is associated with all these winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings here in the north central US. So you still got some winter weather advisories in Milwaukee, Chicago, Gary, Indiana. You got some winter weather advisories in Detroit, and you got some winter storm warnings across Michigan, Marquette, and then northern Indiana and northern Ohio. And this is a system that is delivering the fresh shot of cold air, which is what we need in advance of system number 2. So I'm going to exit this here. I want to show you the upper air map. That's my email. I don't think you want to see that. All right, so here, this is I'm going to show you the GFS first, because the GFS is a little bit more interesting. It always, I think it's overplaying this system, and I'll show you why. But let's just move it along. So this is the piece of energy associated with system number 1 that is delivering the shot of cold air, which I'll show you here in a second. This is system number 2 right here, which is going to be rounding the base of the trough, and you want it to get out ahead of the trough. So here, I'm going to show you. I'm going to move it along here. You got this piece of energy right in here. It's working its way around the base of the trough. You want it to get out and ahead of the trough, which it does. It does get out and ahead of the trough. But I want to also show you one more thing. You get this energy down here from the southern branch feeding into the northern branch, so you get more energy and a stronger storm system. And energy gets out ahead of the trough, and then this is what it does on the surface. You get a storm system to form along the frontal boundary that is in place because of system number 1, and then you get a storm to ride up and along and near the coast. But I don't think that this system is going to be as strong as what the GFS is predicting. The GFS is predicting a much stronger storm, and I'll show you why. There's some key differences between the modeling right now. And it's going to be that way until, it's always like this a few days out. So we just have to wait and see with more. I want to watch the trends. I want to see what the next run of the European does. The European has been fairly consistent. The GFS has kind of been more all over the place. It's been doing that windshield wiper effect, which is what you expect the models to do because they get different information. They get different key pieces of data that causes them to show one thing, and then the next run it will show something else. But the GFS is showing a stronger storm system here because this piece of energy, this energy here from the southern branch that feeds into it, is much stronger than what the European is showing. So this is the GFS, and then I want to show you the European here. European, it's much weaker. But then the other key difference is this piece of energy. In the European, it's more broad. It's not as strong as what the GFS is showing. And I'll show you here. This is the European. Let's take a look at the GFS for the same time period. This is a stronger piece of energy, and you get more of an amplified trough. So when we move it along here, this piece of energy, like I said, is stronger feeding into it, and then this piece of energy is stronger than what the European is showing. Here, you can see it's more, the GFS is more amplified with the trough and more amplified with the piece of energy. So it's going to bring us a stronger storm system. But I think that the European is modeling the storm better. I think that it's going to be more in line with the European. And I think it's still going to bring us snow, which is not going to be as much as what the GFS is showing. So, but we'll have to wait and see, because obviously the models are going to change over the next coming days. But so then you get this piece of energy to get out ahead of the trough, and then a storm forms along the frontal boundary here, and you get a storm system. This is the European here to come up the coast just like this, and you get an interior snow. So I'm going to zoom in here just so that we can see what it looks like closer to the northeast, which is going to be the area that's most affected by this. So I'm going to move it along here. You get the storm system ride up the coast along the frontal boundary that's in place due to system number 1, and you get an interior snowstorm. Like I said, I-95 corridor, you mainly rain for everyone to the points south and east of the I-95. But really, how far north does the rain and snow line get? I'm skeptical in terms of that the rain and snow line doesn't get further north than this. Because one thing, now it's not a guarantee, but a lot of times we look at the 540 line for where the rain and snow line is going to be. And the 540 line is up here to around Harrisburg. I really think it's going to be pushing it if we get snow the entire time. I think that it's going to mix up until up into Harrisburg. Definitely Philly, you're just primarily going to get rain. It might start as some snow for you at first, and then it's going to quickly change over to rain. You might get an inch or two out of it, more like a coating, I would say, especially with surface temperatures. I think it's going to be more like a coating for Philadelphia area. But I'm curious to see how far north the rain and snow line gets. I think it's going to be further north than what the European is showing. But I think the European is still modeling this storm better. I think it's going to be a weaker storm system than what the GFS is showing, just based off of the upper level air pattern. But I'll show you the GFS here. I'm going to show you what the difference is. And you'll see here in the GFS depiction, it's a much stronger storm system, like I was saying. But it does bring that mix in rain and snow line further north into Harrisburg. So it starts out as a period of snow here in southeast PA, and then quickly changes over to rain/mix, and then might finish off as a brief period of snow as the cold air wraps around the back end of this system. But I really do think that it's not going to be as strong of a system as what the GFS is showing, but I tend to agree more with the GFS in terms of the rain-snow line. Maybe not as far north as what the GFS is showing, because the GFS is trending more south. Because if it takes a more southerly track, then it's going to shift that snow further to the south and east. And I think that the European is showing a much better track than what the GFS is showing, based off of the consistency that the European has been showing, the European model, also based off of the upper level pattern. So we should know more by, I would say, tonight into tomorrow morning in terms of snowfall amounts, and the snowfall is going to be more abundant. So just stay tuned, and hopefully we know more by tonight or tomorrow morning. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this brief synopsis of our first potential winter storm of the season before even actual winter sets in. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to drop a like.